Argentine Franco Colapinto has blotted his copybook at Alpine after he ignored team orders in the USA to hold position and instead overtook his teammate Pierre Gasly on the penultimate lap. Colapinto is fighting to retain his Alpine drive for 2026, but was surprised to be asked to remain behind Gasly in the closing stages, stating his teammate was so slow, despite team efforts to manage fuel and places while being lapped. He finished down in 17th. As a team, any instruction made by the pit wall is final, and today we are disappointed that this didn't happen. So it's something we will review and deal with internally, said Alpine F1 Managing Director Steve Nielsen. F1 will race at Austin's iconic Circuit of the Americas until at least 2034, following an 8-year deal extension with the sport for it to remain host of the United States Grand Prix. F1 first visited Texas in 2012, well before the current American boom, with 2025 marking the 13th edition on the European-style racing circuit and the 46th World Championship United States Grand Prix. The track's new deal ensures the majority of venues on the calendar are signed on long-term contracts, with its US counterpart Miami inked through to 2041 and Las Vegas until 2027. Aston Martin dipped its cap to F1's US audience and fuels and lubricant supplier Aramco with its special American livery tweak, one unveiled in Texan sister city Houston ahead of the weekend. Aston Martin's double world champion Fernando Alonso did the honors, with the big change being a highlight of its title sponsor's logo, along with some F1-related scientific formulas, which were added as part of the partnership's Generation 3 initiative to inspire the next band of STEM students to get involved.
You know, these kind of initiatives, I think, are inspiring the next generation, and we want the future engineers and the best ones working for Aramco and for Aston Martin.
Aston Martin was one of 5 squads with special schemes, along with Racing Bulls with its tortoiseshell treatment, Haas, Alpine and Williams, which ran a retro 2002 look for partner Atlassian. Red Bull's motorsport consultant Dr. Helmut Marko says the decision on the driver lineups for the brand's 2 teams will be made after the next race, the Mexico City Grand Prix. Only reigning world champion Max Verstappen is locked in at top team Red Bull Racing for next season, with Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson's futures the subject of speculation. Racing Bull's rookie Isaac Hadjar is expected to be promoted alongside Verstappen, with Marko stating the Frenchman is enjoying his situation, having established himself and achieved incredible things. Red Bull's next big thing, Arvid Lindblad, could replace Hadjar at Racing Bulls, following a single campaign in Formula 2, setting up a fight for the final seat between Tsunoda and Lawson. Mercedes enjoyed another victory ahead of last weekend's US Grand Prix, with news that it will retain its current F1 driver lineup George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli into 2026. Both drivers had to wait for the majority of the season for their new deals, while the squad sniffed out Max Verstappen's future availability, though it may have since shown part of its hand, with Russell understood to have signed a multi-year deal. Russell has been outstanding this year, with impressive wins in Canada, where rookie Antonelli was 3rd, and in Singapore. 2026 marks Russell's 10th season with the Mercedes brand. Christian Horner's return to F1 is predicated on him taking a shareholding in a team, says veteran Sky Sports commentator Martin Brundle. Horner was relieved of his operational duties as Red Bull Racing's CEO and team boss in July, following a 2-decade tenure at the team that he marched to 8 drivers and 6 constructors' crowns. It's alleged that Horner can return to a role in the paddock sometime in 2026, said to be after the opening rounds, and that the sport is unfinished business for the highly successful and motivated Brit. But Brundle says Horner won't return for just any role, with conditions on what kind of opportunities he will take on. He made it absolutely clear to me when I spoke to him that he will only come back if he's got a skin in the game, if he's got a share of the team and is building something, rather than being a manager as he was with Red Bull, Brundle said. Ex-Ferrari engineer Rob Smedley says the prancing horse has to batten down the hatches and concentrate on long-term gains if it's ever going to return to the top of the sport. Ferrari has yet to win a Grand Prix this year, its highlights limited to Lewis Hamilton's sprint pole and win in China, with 6 podiums from Charles Leclerc. But Smedley told official podcast F1 Nation that the team has to ensure it doesn't return to an era of political infighting.
26 might be another difficult year, and they've just got to keep working through it, but they've got to remain united. I've been in that situation. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's not a nice place to be. But if you are united and if you cut out all of the outside noise, you can get through it. Once you start to, once the infighting and the instability within the team starts to arise, and you start to think, has this guy got my back? Has that guy got my back? You're dead in the water. So let's hope they can get through it.
Ex-racer Alan McNish, now senior consultant of technical partnerships for Audi's F1 program, says the German marque has always won wherever it has competed, due to its focus on technology and strong leadership. Audi is set to join the pinnacle of motorsport from next year, following its takeover of Sauber. And McNish told F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid that while the luxury brand is global, the way it does business, often on a handshake, is far more personal.
That principle is very old-fashioned, but it's one that I think has stood them very well. And that human development of a team, a personal team, that maybe from the outside has looked like a big German powerhouse, but actually from the inside has had a very strong leadership, but with a velvet glove mentality behind it.
Motorsport fans had their eyes on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last week, with Mick Schumacher in town for a special Indycar test with Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing on the track's road course. Schumacher completed 80 laps and shared the track with Indy Next's James Rowe, Caio Collet, Dennis Hauger, and Lockie Hughes, along with IndyCar full-timers Alexander Rossi and Christian Rasmussen.
There are differences, but there are very many similarities as well out there. So I think with all the experiences that I've had so far, led to me being very comfortable quickly, which is good and what you want from a test like this.
Schumacher said the overall experience was positive, that he got through the run plan, but had no updates on whether he'll race stateside in 2026. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.